It is College Football Now by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. On today's show, we have the latest updates from the transfer portal. We'll tell you who is going where and also some of the newest players to enter the transfer portal coming up in just a few moments from right now. Before we do, join us tomorrow. We will have National Signing Day covered right here on the channel with the latest happenings on your favorite teams. Who's going where from the high school level to college? We'll tell you. Join us tomorrow. We'll have updates here on the channel all day long. Don't miss out on right here on Chat Sports. And if you are subscribed to the channel or you're just now subscribing to the channel, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get in the chat and show yourselves out. We thank you guys. We can't do this without you guys. Type me in the comments section if you are subscribed. We appreciate you, and we'll go ahead and get started with today's show. The transfer portal, man, it's already been eventful here these last couple of weeks as the portal's been popping at this point in time. And on today's show, we have a look at some of the latest commitments as well as some of the newest members of the portal and what their status is going forward. Let's begin with Devin Leary, the quarterback out of NC State. He is headed to Kentucky where he will replace Will Levis, who's headed to the NFL draft and make his way there from NC State. Also, Jeremiah Byers, the offensive tackle from UTEP, he gets the call up to the Power 5 level. He's headed to Florida State. While Joe Moore, well, he wants some more in Washington as he stays in the Pac-12 conference, going from Arizona State to Washington. And then another one for you includes Stephen McBride, leaving the Big 12 and the University of Kansas. He's headed to Hawaii is his next destination there. Let's talk more about Devin Leary, though. Devin Leary, very talented player and considered by many the best quarterback in the portal this year, and for good reason. When you look at the statistics of what he put up last season, he was outstanding and was considered to be possibly leaving early, maybe even for the NFL, and then things didn't quite work out with the injuries that he was dealt with this past year. Started 6 games, went 5-1 in those starts with a 61% completion percentage, over 1,200 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. The year prior, this is a guy that had 35 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. And, you know, he had a pick of places he could have gone, Devin Leary did. Ultimately ends up in Kentucky following Will Levis and hoping that he can be like what Will Levis did of ending up as a first-round pick is what it looks like Levis is on his way to being. Leary trying to follow in his footsteps. We'll see what ultimately happens with Devin Leary there. But what I do wonder with Devin Leary, could he have gotten more? Could he have gone somewhere else? Is this a lateral move of some sorts, going from NC State to Kentucky? Remember, the Wolfpack were a pretty good team last year, led by their head coach Dave Doran. So with that, how would you grade the decision from Devin Leary to go to the University of Kentucky, a traditional basketball school? Get those red pins out. You might get an ad break. Take advantage of it while the ads play. Get your votes in. Type A, B, C, D, or F, how you would grade the decision by Devin Leary to head to Kentucky. Let's continue now. Drew Pyne, the former Notre Dame quarterback, is going to be forking up in Arizona State. Great party school there. Excited for him to move on from Notre Dame and really enjoy himself there in Tempe. Meanwhile, Andre White Jr., the linebacker from Texas A&M, he is going to Atlanta to Georgia Tech. Meanwhile, Jalen Harrell, the cornerback from Miami, is going to UMASS. Might be a little bit colder in Massachusetts than it is on South Beach, but Miami did kind of pick up a replacement for him, as Davonte Brown from UCF is going to stay in the state of Florida and head to Miami to play that cornerback position. Let's tell you more about Drew Pyne, a 4-star quarterback in the class of 2020. Started 10 games for the Fighting Irish last year with an 8-2 record. And Drew Pyne's numbers solid, 64% completion percentage, over 2,000 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. And now you wonder, with a new coaching staff in place at Arizona State, how much can he elevate that Arizona State team and get to where they want to go? That's a great question of what his play will be like with the Sun Devils this upcoming year. How will he do with Arizona State? Scale it for me in the comments section. Put a number on it, 1 through 10, how you think Drew Pyne is going to do at Arizona State. Got a great deal that we are offering college football fans as the holidays are near, just a few days away. If you're looking for a last-minute gift, boy, do I have a deal for you, folks. Over 50% off on hoodies right now where you can represent your favorite team, whether you're a Buckeyes fan or a Fighting Irish fan, maybe you even like USC or Alabama, Oklahoma, whoever it may be. We have all of your favorite teams covered with hoodies up to 50% off. It is getting cold outside, folks. Might as well represent your favorite team while you're dressing warm out there. Up to 50% off while supplies last. Get yours now, chatsports.com/CFB hoodie. That's chatsports.com/CFB hoodie. Couple more notable commitments for you. Let's look at Mason Cobb now, the linebacker out of Oklahoma State. He is headed to USC to play for Lincoln Riley. And the interesting note about that, obviously, he played against Lincoln Riley's Sooners a couple years ago. Now he makes his way to USC to join Riley out there. Meanwhile, one of the newest commitments just within the last few hours here, Tommy Brockmeyer, the offensive tackle from Alabama, he is headed to TCU to join the Horned Frogs. TCU and Sonny Dykes and company doing a really good job so far hitting up the transfer portal with some of the commitments they've been able to bring in. Another commitment for USC and Lincoln Riley is they have picked up a wide receiver from Arizona. That would be Dorian Singer headed to USC. Lincoln Riley and company doing a really good job of finding more transfer portal players, something that he did a good job of at Oklahoma as well. And then there's Andre Carrick, the offensive tackle from Texas. He is going to go from one UT to another. He is headed to Tennessee. But let's tell you more about Mason Cobb in this move to USC. And you looked at that USC defense. In particular, if you watch the Pac-12 title game, they need all the help that they can get. Mason Cobb should be a nice addition for that roster. A former 3-star linebacker in the class of 2020. Started 12 games for Oklahoma State this past season. Was able to record 96 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 1 interception. He was a second-team All-Big 12 performer there with the Pokes this year. So with USC, they took a huge step up this past year. Now they look like they're doing a really good job in the transfer portal as well. They came up just short at winning the Pac-12 title this past year and missed on the college football playoff. Will the Trojans take that next step next year and get past Utah and the rest of the contenders in the Pac-12 and win the Pac-12 conference? What say you? Let us know in the comments section. Will USC win the Pac-12 next year? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let us know in the comments section below. All right, now let's look at the notable new entries into the transfer portal, beginning with Travis Hunter, one of the best players that you will find in the transfer portal, if not the best overall. Spent the year with Deion Sanders at Jackson State, but it's not a given that he'll follow Deion to Colorado. More on that coming up in just a moment. Also, some other additions. Kobe Minor from Texas Tech, the safety, is also entering the portal, as is Jordan Phillips, a defensive lineman from Tennessee. And then a couple other names for you. Jaden Naravet, the linebacker from Oregon, is now in the portal. And then also at cornerback, another player from NC State, besides Devin Leary, Joshua Pierre-Louis, cornerback from NC State, also enters the portal. Let's tell you about the Travis Hunter situation. And Travis Hunter obviously was terrific coming out of high school, number 1 player in the class of 2022, according to 24/7 Sports and Rivals. And there was kind of this belief, it just seemed kind of assumed from some folks, that he would follow Deion Sanders to Colorado. But the folks at On3 in their crystal ball projections show that Travis Hunter, who is a Georgia native, might I add you, has about a 30.8% chance of ending up with the Bulldogs, who are in the college football playoff for the second straight year. Meanwhile, Miami is the second highest favorite, according to On3, with a 26.9% chance to end up there. So pretty close, numbers-wise, to the Georgia Bulldogs. And an athlete, we're talking about a guy that not only was the number one player in 2020 coming out of high school, but also spent time playing wide receiver and defensive back at Jackson State. So who will win the Travis Hunter sweepstakes? Will we see him follow Deion Sanders to Colorado? Will he go to Georgia, Miami? USC's been talked about. About anywhere Travis Hunter can go. All options are on the table. Where is he going to end up? Let us know in the comment section below. A couple other notable entries into the portal include Junior Alexander, a wide receiver from Washington. Also, not just Travis Hunter, but there is a number of players from Jackson State trying to make that move up to the FBS level, including Kevin Coleman, a very talented wide receiver from Jackson State. Chris Mayo, offensive lineman from West Virginia, also enters the portal, as does Tavon Kyle, a cornerback from Iowa State. So there is a look at some of the notable entries into the transfer portal, as well as the latest commitments to the portal as well. We will be telling you about all the latest happenings in college football over the next couple of weeks with recruiting, the transfer portal, and the lead up to the college football playoff and more right here on College Football Now. As always, you can follow me on social media, and I'll see you next time here on College Football Now.